Let's go ahead and get started. I was waiting for some people to come through just to chime in. Again, now you guys won't be able to see this, but I think I want to pull this up, and I believe personally, I think that Q Parker. If you're not familiar with Q Parker is one of the vocalists. He was part of 112
as the OG, and let them know that you can never do that again. Don't ever let anybody knock you off of your square. And again, I know every last one of them guys. And what they displayed last night, everybody say, yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. You right. You sure ain't. Today.
This is what I want to insert on that. When Q said he was referencing something saying today's prices ain't yesterday's prices. Okay, but today's quality ain't yesterday's quality neither. And we saw that. And we do see that in singing. We hear that when people are like, man, I wish we had this type of sound. Yeah, sure. Today's prices ain't yesterday's prices, or yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. But today's quality isn't yesterday's quality. Okay, I got my man Jun in here. What's good, man? So they were saying that yesterday's quality, today's prices ain't yesterday's prices. And I want to also include that today's quality isn't yesterday's quality. You feel me? And I think it's vitally important to understand that when we're hearing people say, it wasn't the way the mixing sounded in songs. It was the feeling. It was the lyrics. A lot of things have shifted. And we saw the slow shift, especially us growing up, being born in the 80s and then growing up in the 90s and growing up in the 2000s, becoming adults. We saw the shift when it came to R&B music, especially as males. For the most part, women were still able to be women. They could still be like, I'm cool, I'm dope. There was more women empowerment, which is fine. That's cool. But women were still able to be women. You know what I'm saying? And it was like men, we had to keep, it got to a point where now we're competing with hip hop. Women don't have to worry about that. I believe Tank talked about that a few times, but I think he talked about that with on the Joe Budden podcast. It was like women don't have to compete with women in hip hop. We as men, we got to compete with men in, you know what I'm saying? We as men in the R&B lane have to compete with dudes in hip hop even before they started singing alongside us, because they gave this persona and it was this machismo, right? This whole thing going on. And now we got to show our bravado too, right? And don't get me wrong, some R&B dudes were real thugs in real life, but they didn't want to show that because they're singers. They're like, y'all don't need to see all that. That's my personal business. They could have been the two brothers and next they were selling dope. No, the oldest brother was selling dope, right? They're like, these mugs were out here, but they didn't want to portray that. They didn't want to share that to the world, right? But yeah. Let me finish this, and then June. I don't know if you're trying to get your sound together, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing with
Yeah, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah. You good?
Yesterday's
Where'd you
prices
get that?
ain't today's prices.
Come
You
here.
right.
Where'd
You
you
sure
get
ain't. Today's prices ain't gonna be with yesterday's prices, and not in a good way, because I didn't feel like they maximized the opportunity.
Oh, I think they
did
did.
not maximize the
They
opportunity.
maximized it, but
And
they maximized it in a negative
I'm gonna do
perspective.
my part. I'm gonna call them, just like I know somebody would call me if I was out here doing some craziness that wasn't upholding the syllabus in which I agreed to and signed when I became a male R&B singer. That R&B shit is for real, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm telling
it
you,
is.
you can easily identify when an artist has it and when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily identify it. But yeah, man, I just couldn't let the day go by without giving my commentary. Quinn, man, you need to go see it. You cut from the same cloth that I'm cut from. You need to go see it, bro. Yeah. And I would implore you, if you know any of them personally, man, call them.
Yeah.
Because they need to know that what they displayed last night was not what
And I'm gonna get into
male
that.
singers do.
I'm gonna get into that.
It ain't what we do, man. It is not what we do. Last thing, I think Kevin told us one time, I would
I
rather
think he's talking about
somebody
Kevin Lyles.
say anything about you and y'all other than y'all can't sing.
Yeah.
And last night, outside of Mario,
What's up,
he was
mama?
the only singer
Yeah.
that sang.
Yep.
And I know Sammie can sing. I know Bobby sings well. I
Said he was the only
know
singer
Pleasure P sings
that was really
his
singing.
joints. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so busy trying to take shots that they
Exactly.
forgot that, bro, I'm a singer. I'm a singer.
Q said was like, this is basically, he said this is very unbecoming. Here's my thing. These are grown men. This is the part that people, I need y'all to really like list, like pay attention to. These aren't 15, 16-year-olds, right? When they came out, I was, let me see, B2K came out, I was about like 16, 17. I was on my way out of high school. When Mario came out, I was on my way out. Bobby Valentino came out, I was on my way out from school. Right. A lot of these artists came around like right at 2000, 2001. And by the time like their music really came out, I was probably already out in the military. June, he's a fellow he's a fellow serviceman. He served in the military. It was what was it, the Air Force or the Navy? Air Force,
Air
right?
Force.
Air
Yes, served
Force.
honorably in the Air Force, 8 years.
That's what's up, man. And thank you for your service, bro. So he's a fellow
Appreciate it.
serviceman, and he's also a fellow R&B artist, singer songwriter. He's dope. He's good. And him and I, we've been collabing for a little bit. Um, we came across through the Tank's uh R&B mixtape, right?
Just vibes.
Yep. And that's how we came to meet each other. And yeah, it was good, man. We June actually ended up contacting me, and we ended up chopping it up a little bit. And we just been, doing a couple projects here and there as far as songs, or him wanted me to hop on. And right now I'm working on an EP, and I'm asking him to hop on. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, man, he's actually based out of Miami, Florida. Girl, what are you doing, child? And she's giving me this look like, what do you think I'm doing? But yeah, June, what do you think about Versus? Did you see all of it, or did you just see clips, or you just what? How did you come across it?
For one, I think the DJ that they had, I feel like the DJ almost took over the show. You know, like that first DJ, he
Mm.
spun for like what, over an hour before the show started.
Ah.
So, people were like probably zapped the energy because that's not what they came for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dancing, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then when he started like playing rap, it kind of missed me a little bit.
I mean, but they all do that though. Like at
Yeah,
any
just hype up the
versus,
crowd.
they, you know what I'm saying? Because the crowd is like, okay, we just waiting for music. But I think in that case, some DJs miss their assignment. If the assignment is R&B, you don't play hip hop. I ain't trying to be funny. I
Exactly.
love hip hop, but if the assignment is R&B, you play R&B throughout that whole entire session. That's your job, and I think they took their job as a DJ, like we in the club, and I think that was part of the issue too, because the people that came there were the people that were there for the
Like
nostalgia factor, or for the
the
nostalgic factor.
2000s, the R&B, you know, they could have played Monica. They could have,
So
dropped
many artists they could have been
so
playing
many dope
for them to
artists.
be doing
Could have
that.
played Tank.
They could have. It was just so many artists that they could have played to set the mood. And I think in that case, but see, I don't know their age group. I don't know how old these DJs are, because growing up, bro, like when I used to go clubbing, they played hip hop, but they also played R&B in the midst of all of that. So you had to know how to dance. And I'm from the Midwest. So
And people
back
grinding,
yo,
loving.
you had to know how to dance, bro.
Yeah.
You had to, and I ain't talking about
Reps had to work.
no pop block. I mean, we did that if we were battling each other, because me and my friends, we would do that when I was in high school and when I went from the military, and we would go to the clubs out off base. We would battle. Oh man, that was so fun. But when it came to R&B and dancing, you had to know, because all they was gonna play was slow R&B. to change the
Oh yeah.
mood, to cool it down a little bit. Like, yo, y'all been dancing for like 2-3 hours straight, just, you know what I'm saying, working out, exercising. Slow it down a little bit. And I don't think they understood their assignment, because I think nowadays clubs don't really play slow R&B like that, or even mid-tempo R&B like that. So so when you're saying it from that perspective, I feel you on that. They
Yeah.
took this verses like it was a hip hop verse. It's like, no, this is R&B. Y'all didn't sing all the other examples of R&B verses. Was
Even their attitudes was like hip hop. You know, it was like
but see, but
on some.
oh, go ahead.
Even, I feel like even their attitudes were like on a hip hop vibe. Like I
Yeah,
know these are like urban artists and everything,
yeah,
but they came on and they were just so like aggressive.
yeah, yeah. And
Everything was aggressive.
but see, and this is what I was talking about. Like back then, we were, even now, like we're competing with hip hop to stay relevant, especially when hip hop artists are trying to sing like we're singing. Like I did a song a couple years ago called "You Can't Imagine," and I was like, they singing. I might as well do it, like sing it in staccato, because that's what they do. But I'm a singer, so I should be able to sing to anything. And I remember one dude was like, "Well, I don't like it." I'm like, "You're not even a singer, anyways." So of course you're gonna feel some type of way about me actually hitting my notes correctly and singing it the way it should be sounding. You can hear me clearly. Yeah, of course you're gonna feel awkward. He was like, but you're a singer. Like if you're singing and you doing melodic rap, you need to know how to sing. So, but in any case, we find ourselves competing with hip hop to show that, hey, we're singing about love, but we ain't soft, and we're gonna show. But in the same breath, it was a lot of vibrato. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll be honest with you. There are some artists. There are some R&B artists who are really like, you know what I'm saying? But like here, like again, we're all those artists up there. We're all in the same age group. I think the oldest cat is Ray J.
Really?
Yeah, Bobby
Wow.
Valentino was 42. Omarion, we're the same age. He's 37. Um, Mario's, I think he's like a couple years younger. I don't know how old Jeremiah is. That boy, he need to stop. I was,
Yeah, for
I
real.
was like, nigga, ain't no way.
I'm telling you, like Ray J was on a pill. Ray
He was
J was
on
on a pill or
something.
something.
But see, here's the thing with
Yeah.
Ray J. It was like, even though we look at Jack Harlow like we don't know who Brandy is, we really like, bro, you don't know who Brandy is. And so, because now we looked at him like, this is you, Brandy. You know what I'm saying?
Brandy looked amazing.
You look. I mean, yeah, of course you did. But I was just like, yo, you're Brandy's brother. How dare you be on this stage singing like that? She sat there and was like, we saw her, and she was rooting you on. You just, bro, you made the Norwood family look bad, bro. Like what's
Yeah.
and so this is what Q was talking about. That was his thing. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, this is not how it's supposed to be. The antics. They're all adults. I'm making a point of saying their ages, or saying like they're close in age, because they're in their mid 30s, late 30s, and early 40s. These are
Yeah, all of them.
grown men. Not 15, 16, 17, not 21, not 25. Man, these are grown adults. Been doing it for at least 20 years.
At least.
Y'all know about press. Y'all know how to conduct yourselves. Y'all mean to tell me y'all gonna act a whole monkey?
Like I think they really had Ray J to the point where he was ready to fight on
Bro,
stage in front of
I
everybody
bet.
multiple times.
I bet. But see, here's the
And he
thing.
was so high, I think like if you go back and you watch the video,
Mhm.
like his face was seizing up. You know, he
Yeah.
was all over the stage. Like his dance moves were like just uncoordinated. Like he was in a haze. And then at one point, he was literally like on the right side of the stage, just standing.
Wow.
Remember when he got down and he started sitting down on the monitor?
Hmm. Hmm.
He just faded out. What they
So
did was they took him backstage for a long time. No, but he was trash.
so here's the thing. This is a popular saying. If you stay ready, you don't have to get
You
ready.
gotta get ready. Yeah.
And so that's what Q Parker was saying. He was like, out of all of them, Mario, he understood the assignment. He
Well,
under
Mario's he's a real singer. Like he's a real
yeah.
performer.
Also,
Like,
that's the thing I want to tell you too. I think I told you this. Told you or somebody else. So I had a homeboy when I was in the military. He went to school with Mario.
oh
So
wow,
so he's from Baltimore. His first name is Derek. I don't know where that boy is at now. He's somewhere in the world. Cool dude. He's originally from Michigan, but then he was raised in Baltimore. So he was like, "Oh, you listen to Mario?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I know. I went to school with him." I was like, "For real?" It's like, "So how was he?" I remember the conversation. He was like, "Man, Muzz used to come for him." He's like, "But he was real quiet, minded his own business, and just maneuvered through all the foolishness." Like Muzz would like trying to start stuff with him, pick on him or whatever. You know how it is in high school. And so he was
yeah,
just, but he was real quiet. He's like, "Yo, but that dude could sing." He said he was singing like that in school.
yeah. I believe it. I believe
And
it.
then he said
I
that
went to
one day,
school with Jason Derulo. Like
really?
that whole yeah. Every day. Like we had the same classes,
Wow.
same singing classes and everything. Real like cool dude,
Yeah.
Haitian guy.
Yeah.
You know. And he was already a star, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like some people are just a star, and this guy was a
Right.
star in school. Teachers loved him.
Mm-hmm.
The music department, they just knew he was gonna be a star, so they boosted him way up, bro. So
Wow.
I know
Wow.
what it's like to have a star like celebrity, like
And you
you know.
you know what's what I want to touch that too, because I was talking to actually it's my sister's high school classmate. She was underclassman.
Mhm.
And I was saying, I was like, because back home, I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. Back home, I always looked at Saginaw like a miniature Motown because we had have so much talent. I think I see more people trying to be rappers now back home than singers. Back home, growing up, we had so now I understand why they gave me the nickname they gave me when I was a kid because my daughter's doing the same exact thing. So, but we have so much talent back home. Like it's insane how many singers we have. Like singers, like people that can really sing. But the issue is that a lot of us don't have the same opportunities as these other people. And I think we saw that. I think we saw that last night. And that can probably go anywhere in any city or state. It's like, man, I know so and so they can sing better than so and so on his last verses. And it's like, but they just don't have the right opportunity, or they just didn't have that connection with different people that might know somebody. That's what I think. That's the difference between like people like us that are figuring it out. We're choosing to go the independent route and build our, you know what I'm saying, build our fan base that way. And then the people that's just like, nah, yo, let's take this dude and take it. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, I think.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was a little bit disheartening. I mean, we could talk about the antics. Like, okay, I shared this story before. A couple years ago, I was in a singing competition, and it was in Central Texas. It fell into Greece. It did fall into Greece. My man, my homeboy, his name is Joaquin. He said something in the chat. Yeah, bro, it fell into Greece, all right. So,
Uh,
couple years ago, this is like 2017 December.
Heart in my hand to ask you a question, 'cause I know that you're an old-fashioned man. So can I get daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, no need to know. You said I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. So look, my friend, 'cause the answer is no. Why you gotta be so? Don't you know human? Yeah. Why you gotta be so? Yeah. I'm gonna marry you anyway.
I was in a singing competition, and all the songs that I presented had my background vocals in it because it was a singing competition, right? A couple tracks it was a track, yeah, a couple tracks I did for the singing competition. I made the track because I couldn't find an instrumental for it, and then I sung background vocals for it. So what happened was I'm singing, and they looked at me and was like, "We're expecting you to be like this." I'm like, "But I'm a singer. Why do you care if I'm I'm not there to do belly rolls. I'm not there to show my abs. I'm not there to do none of that. I'm there to sing because it's a singing competition. So I'm going to show some type of showmanship. I'm going to move around a little bit. I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to try to do my best to grab the audience's attention. But my job is not here to show, like that distracts you from singing.
Yeah.
And
Your voice and everything.
exactly. And that's the part. And so shout out to Tony Ringo. I'm saying this because she publicly said stuff during that competition. There's one song I had to sing. It was Prince, I Want to Be Your Lover. Sung the whole thing in falsetto. The whole thing in falsetto. She was like, she was like, y'all give it up for this dude. Because he did this whole, that was the goal, for you to hear our range and what we can do. Right? And I did Beauty. I did the background vocals for that. She said, that's your voice on there? Yeah. Yo, come on. That's part of the singing competition. Like, we're singing on top of tracks and karaoke tracks, and you hear my vocals, right? So that's all part of it. But when we start doing other things that take away from singing, because at this point, remember the original verses used to just be like, this is my song, you don't sing over it, it's nostalgia. Now it became a point, by the time, I feel like, I might be wrong, by the time it was like Bow Wow and Soulja Boy, where they actually kind of like start, or maybe it was right before that, somebody else started like actually performing their songs. Then it became, all right, we're gonna sing over our stuff. Oh, I want you to hear how I sound without the engineer doing his or her job. This is how I sound for real, right? And this is where it was like all these antics, this talking trash the night before. Like, yo, I understand you want to take, bro. That thing was looking like a 5 Heartbeat film. You know what I'm saying? Like the very first scene, I don't know if you've seen that movie, the very first scene where they playing the song and Duck is like, he's messing up my song. he pushes the dude out the way. He pushes the dude out the way. Yeah, and start playing the piano. And then what is it? Eddie can, oh, is anybody in the house tonight? Stand up. And now they doing their thing and they just kill it. I looked at verses looked like that.
It did.
Because like, it had antics.
Like competing. You know who really did not bring he didn't bring the action. He missed it. He missed the mark on everything was Bobby V, and I can't believe it.
He played the piano.
He was able to like capture the crowd, but his voice was horrible.
And I was rooting for Bobby V because I know Bobby V can sing.
Bobby V can blow.
So here's the other thing too. One thing that's really interesting is that people who really take their singing serious, when they, as a professional, still get on IG Live and sing. You know who did that? You know who would do that?
Oh.
Mario. You know who else would? You know who else would do that?
Yeah.
Bobby Valentino, Bobby V. They both would do it.
Yeah. Live and everything.
Exactly. I have yet, unless somebody can correct me on this, I have yet to see Omarion get on live and sing. We've seen him dancing. He can dance his tail off. Right? I have yet to see Ray J get on live and sing. Right? Who else was
I never felt like Ray J was a singer.
Wait. And Sammie will get on live.
Sammie is crazy.
Sammie will get on live and you will hear him sing.
Song about it too.
No, but I'm saying those three from that live, they get, from that verses, they'll get on IG and sing live. So you know they're singers. At least those three, you know they are real singers.
And they're ready, stay ready.
And they ready and they stay ready. But here's my thing, bro. Whenever I go out, and this is the other thing I want to share too. Sometimes it just could have just been a bad night. You might have just had a bad night. Don't get me wrong. When we're singing, sometimes we get pitchy. Sometimes, like, we're looking at the crowd, we get nervous. That's just a natural thing. Like, for real. It don't matter how long you've been doing it for. Nerves are nerves are nerves.
Yeah.
Right? But still stay ready. Even Mario, there was a couple times, and it was rare in that verses where he was pitchy, but he fixed it real quick. real quick. He didn't stay out of key. He was like, nope, I'm out this note. I missed this one note. Dang, okay, let me fix it. And most people couldn't even tell. They couldn't tell.
I watched Mario's like story, man. He came like dealing with his mom and
Yeah.
management issues. Like he really came a long way.
Yeah.
And I had no clue like just how hard his vocals are to hit.
Yeah.
You know, his runs, his falsetto, his vibrato is just like of his own, kind of like Sammie. Like Sammie's vibrato is his own. Like can't nobody duplicate it, you know?
Everybody's I put it like this. When it comes to rubato, everybody's, I feel like it's almost like a fingerprint for the most part. Because you can, there's certain runs that Mario does. It always reminds me personally of Charlie Wilson. If you sit and listen to Charlie Wilson.
Yo, I was at the Millennium Tour, dog. No, my bad. Let me take that back. I went to the Jodeci Charlie Wilson New Edition tour. Man, I'm still not really for real. I'm not a Charlie Wilson fan.
I'm not neither, but
that
the dude can
motherfucker,
sing.
he is a performer.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm talking, dog, like you should have seen the coat. The top coat he was wearing, it was gold, it was spiky, it was shiny, bro. I'm sitting way up in the stage.
You can still see it.
I'm telling you, this guy was like bigger than life down there. Old, dancing, singing, ex-crackhead. You couldn't tell this guy nothing. He was amazing. I was like, yo, I really want to go buy a CD. I slept on Charlie Wilson. I know he's a classic from like the Gap Band, but that guy is amazing. Top 10 performer, hands down.
Give me 1 sec. Listen.
And that's saying a lot. Thinking that he is way out of our age group, and I'm telling you, that guy, his music hit so hard in that stadium. I'm telling you, like he was on some like but on the same token, you know, I can get really spiritual, and I feel like I'm connected. Charlie Wilson was pulling some good energy, like holy energy, as he performed, and he did like a chant, like building up energy in the room, and I could feel it, like he was begging for something.
As a singer, like that's something. Because I mean, everything is spiritual. I don't want to get into that because I don't want that. It's going to get real heavy, and I don't want to talk about that. But but spiritual is spiritual. It just depends on what spirit you're connected to. That's all I'm going to say. So we're spirit beings first and foremost. We're spirit beings first, and then we're having this. They say we're spirits having a human experience versus we're humans having a spiritual experience. It's the complete opposite. We're spirits first, and we're having a human experience. So if anything, you probably felt it's a presence. You know what I'm saying? And if he's pulling on you, he was just pulling on you.
Pulling.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
And that's a real real thing though. That is a real thing. I mean, even in church, that's a real thing. But it just depends on what spirit it's connected to, or you're connected to.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be straight up with you, like, and this is just for me. You know, I'm a little bit different, but it did not feel like he was pulling on anything dark.
Okay.
There was some darkness in him. It felt like he was trying to rectify, get past.
That's interesting.
Like as if he was like praying to God. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
deliver me. Like I'm telling you, the way it felt, I almost had to sit down, and I was like, yo, does anybody, and I was talking to my girl, I was like, baby, do you feel that what he's doing? Do you see what he's doing right now?
The fact that you're sensitive to it actually says a lot, June, because not everybody is sensitive to that. So that actually says a lot about you. And I think I'll say this publicly. If you're sensitive like that, bro, I'm trying to say it a certain way. It's a good thing though. If you're sensitive like that, take that to heart when you're performing now. Because then you're gonna touch.
Right.
Because then you'll hear people that touching my soul. Because now you're touching something way past their little emotions and feelings. They feel something else was being touched, right? And as singers, I'll
Right.
be honest with you. As singers, truth be told, that's really our goal. Is to push past our physical and really touch people. Because essentially, our music is technically supposed to not just entertain, but help people feel better. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Get them through something.
We're getting them through something. Some music nowadays don't help people get through stuff. It's just I'm
No,
going
it make
through
you want to
hell.
go kill somebody and
Oh
go to
yeah,
jail, do drugs and shit.
exactly.
Part of me, dog. Do you mind if I like every now and then I cuss? Is that cool? Like on the
Oh,
show or
bro,
like?
you good?
Nah,
I don't care about that. You good?
I just want to be real, be myself,
No, you
man. You
good?
know.
No, you good?
Wow, I'm telling you, like Charlie Wilson. I know he done been through the dirt. The
Mm-hmm.
dude was like he went completely broke.
Wow.
He was a star, big celebrity, big, lost everything,
Wow.
drug addict, and bounced back and was accepted and bounced back. And you know it had to be hard for him because he's not the best looking.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the most. He's not like he's no Tank. He's not that like physically aesthetically appeasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he let his talent show for him. And if I could say anybody on the new edition Jodeci Charlie Wilson tour, I'm saying Jodeci stole the show. Oh no, I'm saying Charlie Wilson legit stole the show.
I bet he did. I bet he did. I
I
believe it.
would not believe that. I'm thinking Jodeci. I'm thinking New Edition. New Edition was when I saw New Edition perform.
Mm-hmm.
They were beautiful. They were classic.
Yeah.
They had steps. All the steps were in line.
Mm-hmm.
They were professional entertainers
Yeah. Yeah.
doing a set,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
collecting the bag.
Basically,
Uh,
one thing. Oh,
Jodeci.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so Jodeci, them boys, they know how to turn up. They know how to captivate a crowd, grab a crowd, and be sexy.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some ugly motherfuckers, they know how to be sexy, man.
That's their thing.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I respect Jodeci, but there's some ugly motherfuckers, man.
Oh, you're funny, bro.
I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real, man. You know, people thought that
man.
back in the day,
So what I was gonna
but they were some G's.
what I was gonna say was I don't know if you saw, and this is gonna be a spoiler alert for those who didn't see. So I advise you guys to watch this, to watch it later. But we've heard people say a lot of people, a lot of the singers the night before got exposed. There's a documentary that you can find on Netflix. It's called This Is Pop, and it talks in one of the episodes talks about the creation of autotune. And I forgot the guy's name. It's this older white dude that created it. So basically, he had a homegirl that was a singer, and she was like, "Yo, I want you to create something for me to make me sound better when I'm singing." That's basically what she said. And he was like, "All right, I got you." So he created, because he already knew what to do. He had some other type of job dealing with explosions and stuff like that. So in his mind, he already knew what to do to make a computer program to do what she asked him to do. He already, like, it was weird. He's like, "Yeah, I already knew what I needed to do because I experienced stuff like that already." I was like, "What the heck?" So he created it, made it for his homegirl. The first person artist to actually use it was Cher. The next person to use it that we know of was J-Lo. And then, I say then in quotations, was T-Pain. But in reality, people like Brandy used it, but she didn't need it as much as everybody else because she can actually sing. So you can hear it if you listen to like the Full Moon Project, you can hear a smidge of it, right? But we know with T-Pain, he really just like turned it on max, and it's like it altered his voice, right? But basically, and after that whole thing, you had A&Rs and label heads and presidents and engineers or whoever was like, well, more so A&Rs and, you know what I'm saying, vice presidents of different labels. But one dude was like, "Yo, He said, I don't have to worry about trying to find somebody that can really sing, like can sing really well. He said, I just need to find people that look good and I can slap auto tune on their voice. That's in a documentary. So now fast forward. Now that was his mindset back then when he got a whole, because in reality, what they were saying was that a lot of people, auto tune was out since like, I think from what the documentary was saying, 1992. But nobody knew about it. And then we heard, well, it might have been, it was in the 90s. I want to say 1992 when he first created like the first like beta version of it. And then Cher got a hold of it like going into the 2000s, but it was like the late 90s, like 1998, 99. But it was this really like industry hush hush. We can't tell nobody that we're using this to pitch correct people's voices. Because they was using it essentially for pitch correction. Like, oh, you off on that note, let me fix it. They were using it the way it was supposed to be used. It should be used now. To where we can't tell that you used it unless we're listening really hard. Now, you know, if you listen really hard, you can hear somebody using auto-tune, right? So, yeah, but you got to listen real hard. But it's not a bad, it fixes things. It's just the engineering tool. That's all it is. When we're mixing music as audio engineers, it's just like the EQ. It's just like the compression. It's just like the doubler. It's just like the flanger, all these different effects, delay, echo, reverb, all these different things that we use when we're mixing vocals to make it pleasant to the ears of the listener. That's all auto-tune is. It was another audio engineering tool. That's all it was. That's all it was. And you can still take a lot of takes. Like, you know me, you and I, we talk behind closed doors. I did a lot of takes for the song that you and I are working on. All right, well, hey, what's going on? I don't know who this is. Doxilla. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, my bad, y'all. I had to step away real quick because I had to feed my daughter, give her bottle. So, did you watch the Versus? Was it not last night, but the night before?
I didn't. I missed it, man.
Oh, okay. So that's what we're talking about. Did you want to chime in on that, or?
Oh, I honestly just came on here real quick to see what you guys were talking about. So continue, and I'll see if I can jump in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. All right. How'd you come
Bring
across
your contributions.
how'd you come across the live? Like, did you see it on Facebook or?
Oh no, it's on. I actually follow you on Discord and some other stuff.
Really? Okay,
And
cool.
I know Jun17, so
Okay, got you. All right, so man, what was I saying? Oh, the auto-tune documentary, right? As far as like the episode. So we're understanding that essentially that it was just an audio engineering tool. But now we're fast forwarding to 2022 and we're seeing people, well, even back then. So let's backtrack real quick. We actually hear T-Pain sing without auto-tune for the first time on NPR's Tiny Desk. Now, me personally, I was like, come on, dog. Like, I'm hearing them sing, and I'm like, I just felt, me personally, I felt some type of way. I was like, man, you're really pitchy. Now, it could be nerves, because that happens with us with singers. Like, it could be really nerves, but it was all of our first time actually hearing him sing without auto-tune.
And you know what, too? Like, he didn't have any monitors, and some people are like legit studio singers, you know?
Yeah.
Some people can't sing outside that booth.
Right. And see, but this goes back to what I was saying, like 10, 15 minutes ago. We got Mario, we got Sammie, we got Bobby V. Those three dudes from that night actually sing outside of a studio booth, outside of singing on a stage. They're at home, they're singing. You know what I'm saying? And I think for us, I think as singers, is for the most part of your experience is being able to sing. Most of it came from church. Like, truth be told, a lot of the great singers.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was on the same path.
Yeah, it's usually started out in church. We all have that experience of singing. You know what I mean? Because truth be told, even though we're in church, you're still dealing with entertainment. Truth be told, let's just keep it a buck. You got some people that are really entertaining. They sell it. even though they're singing and they're worshiping God
Be
and
there every Sunday for the entertainment. Yeah.
yeah, but see, that's the interesting part. Even in that, is that some people are there just to hear the singing because they're being entertained. Even I'll be honest, when I was singing in church, well, when I was in Kentucky, there's a few, because my mindset was always like, I want to sound good. Don't get me wrong, as a singer, but I would hear them, you sang me happy. I was like, did I entertain you, or did that actually help you in your own personal life? Otherwise, I got a whole album you can hear, and you know what I'm saying. If you feel that way, listen to that. But I think that's really important. You have people like a Teacher Moses saying like, I miss the way people used to sound. It's like, well, you're an artist, start your own label, and you go find these people. That's my mindset. Like I like the new kids how they sing, but I miss this old sound. Will you go and find those
Yeah.
people?
Honestly, Jared, I think this is all about vibrations.
Hmm.
Like music notes. Music theory is
Gerard.
all about
It's Gerard.
frequencies and vibrations. So if
Hmm.
you have, like in gospel, for example, there's certain notes that you hit
Hmm.
that you feel in like the middle of your body and
Yeah.
the core of your body,
Hmm.
and that cannot be made synthetically. That's something that
Absolutely.
has to be made naturally. So when we hear something that's like made by obviously a machine,
Hmm.
like that come in comparison to like live music or somebody playing an instrument, it's a whole different vibe. And
Absolutely.
truthfully, like we see that difference in like Eastern music and Western music.
Hmm.
There's certain notes that we use on that side of the world that we don't even use in music over here.
You're right.
And those tones open up certain parts of our body, of our spirit, that music nowadays it's impossible for them to do, because
Right.
they're doing everything with clickers and with buttons and with there's no nature to it. There's nothing organic to it. So
Exactly.
what we're missing as old artists, as old musicians, let's say,
Hmm.
what we're missing is that organic feeling from music that we no longer get. And that's it's really sad. It's one of
That's
those things. It's like, damn, is this generation just losing it altogether?
You're right, and that's that you. That's a very good point,
Gerard,
Major.
don't let her fool you. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Dr. Sylvie, she has a song right now. It's not out yet. It's
Okay.
complete. It's called One More Night.
One
She
more
used
night.
auto tune. I'm
But
snitching.
no,
She
no, no,
used
no, no, no,
auto
no.
tune.
Now here's something again. No, no. Here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say again. Auto tune in itself is an editing tool, just like
But that was on the engineer.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just as EQing is, just as compression, all these different tools, plugins, or the actual hardware that we use. These are all that's always been a thing in audio production.
Now it seems like they're just using it on everything.
But
Like
no,
people don't
yeah,
even have natural voice.
right, 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 and that's the part. So because it's essentially at one point with auto tune, it was used in a way to where you couldn't tell. Like this is before like we heard share use it. People were technically like always already using it for a while, but it was you got to watch the documentary on Netflix because it talks about it. It was like people didn't want to tell people about it because people were used to organic stuff sounding. But even then, it was like, nah, I know people that were singing live. It was just all out of key. Even back then, people that we thought were amazing were singing way off key, and we didn't when they were singing live, and we didn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? We just, oh, okay. Something I wanted to touch in his live. And by the way, I just want to throw that out there again. Watch the documentary. It's a show. It's called This Is Pop, and it has the episode talking about. I think it's like the second episode in that show. This Is Pop on Netflix. Watch that, and it'll explain like auto tune and how that came into play, right? So, but something interesting that Ray J said on his live. It's like, I got the number one. And he was like, but you don't own your music. And they was just like, what do you mean? I was like, dog, I think he's talking about publishing. You don't own that. Or you don't
The
own or
masters.
you probably don't even own your copyright, your registered copyright to that song. So what was weird, I don't know if I was the only one saying it on there, but he was like, well, I'm not talking about publishing. I'm like, then what is he talking about then? How else do you own outside of copyright registration and publishing? How can you say you own it? Did you buy your publishing? And so he was throwing that at them, and they was, they
A
felt
lot
so.
of these artists, like what I used to do, like in my younger days, I would just go to a studio, drop a record, walk out, not realizing that the engineer legit has my masters.
Wow. Yeah.
I wouldn't go in there with like my own hard drive, and because I wasn't educated, I didn't know. People, so a lot of them don't have that copy anymore to their master, so they can't go back and they can't go back and edit the song because it's gone. What
Right.
you got is what you got with the little quick MP3. And I feel like Ray J, he was just on some disrespectful shit.
Yeah.
He talked about they didn't have no budget, how they came out there, half of them are broke,
You're like, but
which
bro,
is
but you
true.
can't. And that's not. But see, that's for him to say that when we're talking about the artistry, and that's what it's like, bro. We talking about the artistry, not the business part. You want to talk about the business part? Let's talk about that side.
Right.
But it's like, so that was kind of foul for him. I do agree. I get what he was saying, but in the same breath, I concur with you. That was foul. I was like, bro, we're talking about what type of impact you had as an artist. Because nobody in the world, truth be told, you think the average listener cares if you own the music or not? We don't care.
No,
The average listener don't care if you
they don't
own
care
your
about your
masters.
pockets.
No. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about that. But like as an
We don't want to
artist,
give you money for real.
yeah, as an artist, we'll listen to what you're saying. Like, oh, for real, you don't own your masters? Man, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, one artist to another will listen to it. But it's really interesting. Again, it goes back to if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I don't think many of these cats took it. I don't think a lot of them took it serious. That's just my
I
personal
believe
opinion.
that it was way too early. I
You
feel
think
like
so?
Tank had a lot to do. Tank had a lot to do with that verses because look at
You
how it
think
played out.
so? How? Help me understand, sir. How do you think he has something to do with it? I'm curious.
I'm absolutely no. I know for certain. Jay Valentine, all of a sudden, is now he's coming out as like a prominent artist now.
Yeah. They're switching roles. Like,
It seems like everybody that was on the pot, like the what's it called now, the R&B Money podcast. It seems like it was an R&B Money podcast lineup tour, and it was a reproduction of the Millennium Tour. It was exactly the Millennium Tour.
it was
The same. Yeah, it was because I went to the Millennium Tour and it was a reproduction.
really
If you saw the Millennium Tour, you saw that show. Except
for
It was fire.
Mario.
uh,
It was fire though.
it was definitely fire, definitely worth the money, the experience, and everything. The energy was right.
Except for
The
Mario. I thought
vibe.
Mario was initially supposed to be on it, and then for some reason he wasn't on it anymore. Is that what happened?
Mario,
I thought he was. He wasn't supposed to be on it.
not the Millennium Tour. Well, maybe, but I feel like Mario is a little bit cocky, bro.
I mean, look, I'll say,
Like those stuck
I
up
no,
in the air.
I'll say yeah. But when you got people that like really sleep on you, and you're like, look, bro, you're not.
He's
It's,
always been an underdog, though.
yeah. I was like, me personally, out of all the albums that I had as a teenager, like far as like that group, I listened to his album the most because he was a singer. So
What
it
was your
was
favorite song on his album?
on his first album.
His first album.
Oh,
I know it wasn't Two Way.
you mean 2 Train?
2 Train. I know it wasn't 2
It
Train.
was 2 Train. That was my favorite
Ah,
song. That was my favorite song. Baby at the 2 Train every day. I think something like on 105th. Yeah, I get to
yeah.
hold her hand. Yeah, that song was dope. He got another. That was one of my favorite songs. My second, because that, yeah. No, I like Chick with the Braids. Chick with the Braids.
Stick with the Braves.
I like
Absolutely.
those were the songs that you actually. I don't even think he had a video for that. I think he had a
That was
video.
my shit right there.
Yeah.
Stick with the Braves.
Braid my hair. He had
I've seen him
yeah,
break
braid
in
my
that
hair.
picture.
He had a video, but Chick with the Braids he didn't. But those are the two songs that were my favorite. Oh, and I mean, come on, baby, come on, right? I like that, but that already
Oh,
had a
that was
video.
a dope one.
That was a banger, right? His second album, it got to a point where I ended up like stopped listening to a lot of like quote unquote secular music at one point in my life, and then I like came back to it. His second album, he had my two favorite songs from the second album. Well, actually, I like How Could You, but it's like everybody should like that song because that song is a banger. But my two favorite songs from that album. Okay, baby, you don't know nothing about that because you didn't even exist. You was a twinkle in your daddy eye. But Good Love. If you wanna go there, I can show
Okay, that
you
was a dope
how.
one. Yeah, right.
But you can't be scared, right? Listen close. Anyways, and then the other one was
Direction, yeah.
Direction. That's what it's called, Direction. Thank you. And then Like Me Real Hard. That was a neo soul joint. I think
Like Me Real Hard,
Just
boy.
Like Me
I forgot
Real
all about that
Hard,
record. I just seen that.
bro.
Yes, sir.
And it sounded
That
like
was the one that like
it sounded like Music Soul Child was supposed to sing that song. It was produced by, I think, produced and written by, what's his name, Kevin Haggins, what, the dude that did a lot of production for Music Soul Child for his first and second album. He's the one that wrote that song. You can tell it had like a Music Soul Child vibe to it. I love that song. I wish
I forgot about Like Me Real Hard, man.
Bro,
I forgot about Mark. You know what? His second album, though, I was not impressed. I have not been impressed by any other albums by Mario other than his first and a couple singles on the second, man. I think that's what really knocked him down because his singles just were not hitting.
I think it was probably, and if we got to take into consideration what labels do, it's different if you're an independent artist and you control what you do, then it's your fault. But I blame the labels. We don't know what he was actually trying to push versus what they wanted him to push. Right?
Remember what I was talking about earlier, the drama between him and his mama and
You
stuff?
did say that. You did say that.
That his mama was his manager.
Oh.
Making a lot of decisions for him, and she made a lot of bad decisions. Blew his money. She was a drug addict. And this is what he said.
Yeah.
Bad drug addict, bro. Yeah. Even while he was signed, they went through a period where they weren't on talking terms, and she's his manager.
Wow.
And his mom.
What is you guys' perspective in reference to male R&B right now in comparison to at minimum the 90s? Marack, what's good, man? Hey, bro, if you want to chime in, Marack, he's actually a hip hop artist. The dude got bars.
Really don't feel like. I feel like music sales need to change, bro. I feel like the whole infrastructure need to change. How they're selling music. I feel like if people weren't in this music industry to get paid so much, so I feel like we would get a better quality of music. I feel like more people will have a chance. But I feel like the gatekeepers.
So we're still,
and I'm gonna show absolute respect to the kings of R&B, Tank, Bobby V, all of them.
Yeah.
But they're not giving the youth, the younger R&B, the independent artists, they're not giving us real chances to step up because they're taking all the shine. They're not signing artists like they can. They're not vouching for artists like they can. And I mean,
they're not.
That's really all it would take. A good cosign.
Yep. I concur with you. And again,
it's like job security. There's so much money out there, bro. Like, why can't we all get some of the money, man? Why can't we all?
Right. And I concur with you, man.
But they're so greedy, and it's like, I feel like it's so much greed in music right now. Because of that, they're not letting the new artists shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it wasn't about this money, we would get, like, I'm a dope artist, you're a dope artist.
Yeah.
The only thing we're not doing it for the money. I know of course you want to get your dividends, want to get your increments, but we're not doing it to get rich. We doing it to like get our music out, to be known, to have a mark in this R&B history, which we have already made our mark, be it small or big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know who Gerard Kenneth was if I didn't know he was a dope R&B artist.
Yeah. And I mean, and truth be told, do you I'm talking to you for real. Do you want to you don't want to? Do you want to actually go into detail or not, or you want to like
Go,
touch the
absolutely, go.
surface
Go ahead.
about
Be
the
real.
I'm gonna try my best to avoid it, but essentially, guys, June and I we were on a mixtape, and
They need to hear this. They got to be real, bro. Because if
the
not,
mixtape you want to talk about how much we paid for it too? We want to talk about that?
absolutely, it's an investment.
Okay,
Absolutely.
we okay. Of course, we didn't know each other before this, but we had to pay $600 to get on this mixtape with Tank. You can find it online. There's no cap. I even got receipts of conversation. Either it was him or it was his management. So it's probably either I was talking to Tank or I was talking to Jay Valentine that had a hold of his account, right? And that's what. And he was just talking to a whole bunch of artists, right? So for the Just Vibes, the first volume, it was about like what 30? How many people, bro? Let me go to it. It was about like 30, what 30,
Well,
36 people, right? 30, 36
there were
people.
2 volumes.
No, but the volume which volume were you on? I was on volume 1.
I was on volume 1.
Okay. See that Piff. And you guys can look this up yourself. If you do it on your computer, it's easier. On your phone, it'll tell you to download the app. Right?
Yeah, any
So
kind of support that we can get on these singles would be amazing. If y'all could
hey,
go stream them,
I'm about to
listen, and
say,
enjoy.
yeah. Just go to just go to Spotify somewhere and just stream our stuff, right? So Just Vibe. This was in 2020, December 28th, 2020. I was on it, June was on it. And truth be told, a lot of people weren't singers. Some people were rapping on here. And I was kind of like, I thought this was like an R&B mixtape. So yeah, it was 35 people. 35 people, right? So we do the math on that. Let me get a calculator real quick. It was
Oh,
about like
here we go.
it was about like a good what 20K? Let me see. Let me just type it like this. 35. Let me get it. I know you're like, what y'all doing? Times 600. That's just for the first one. It's 21K. 21K.
21K.
21K. That's $600 for each person. And we paid, and it was under the impression, you know what I'm saying? Because it's Tank. He's the general. And I still got respect. Man, bro, I still got all. I grew up hearing it.
Respect.
I grew up listening to this cat. When he came out with the first Maybe I Deserve. Me and my friends, we would sing it. You know what I'm saying? We were in high school singing this stuff, singing in harmony. I had my little group. We were singing it. So, anyways, so it's real receipts. But I guess the real question was, if you were really trying to push the envelope of R&B, especially male R&B, I guess the real question is, did you ever sit down and listen to the stuff that we submitted? That, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I wasn't trying to get there, but at this point, the state of male R&B is like, if you're saying let's have discussions, and you worry about younger people, and it's like you know what I'm saying? I get it. You want the young people to carry the torch, but it's like, bro, they don't have no real example outside of you. Or other people that are kind of like, or even what we saw the night before were the examples. And they did a piss poor job of being examples. Now these guys were signed to major labels. Tank has his own label. You know what I'm saying? That which played a part of me. Like right before that, I was like, man, I'm just gonna start my own label. I'm not gonna worry about somebody signing me. I'll do it myself. I'll start my own publishing. I'll do that all myself and figure it out. And that's what I did. But it for me at least, when we're having these conversations and you're saying where are these people at, and you got 35 people, at least in the first volume, that paid you $600, even in that, you could have been like, yo, you know what? Let me hear what this person really is doing. Let me hear this person's voice. Maybe I can work with this person. But nowadays, even with major labels, you know what they say? We're not trying to do artist development. We want to see what you can do on your own all by yourself without us putting money into you. And that part I kind of get. But if you're saying, let's see what you can do by yourself, then that means that we don't need you as a major label. Now, you got the argument of, nah, some of y'all need major labels. Like, how we gonna need it if we don't need them? You get what I'm saying? Why would we need
Yeah.
a major label if we really don't need it? If they're telling us, oh no, you did a lead work. Let's see what you doing. Oh, well, what you gonna do? Well, when you get at a certain point, we'll come in, we'll sign you, and then we'll start taking all percentages and points and stuff. And even if you create all the music all yourself, you're not gonna own a master. It's like, well, I don't need you, right? Then I don't need you, or you will have to try to get a distribution deal, and even in that, we don't need that. You know why? Because we got what we got. We got
Yeah.
TuneCore. We got DistroKid, we got CD Baby, we got Ditto, we got what's the other one people use now? I can't think of it. United Masters. We got all these different distribution companies. Then we don't need you, major label. Major label at this point, we actually probably don't even need you for studio time because some of us got the equipment. Are getting the knowledge to mix and master our own stuff, so we don't need you for that. So if anything, we might need you for marketing. That's all you probably
Marketing.
at this point. At this point, a major label is only good for marketing. And so now you got these people. So here's the other thing, and I don't want to be on this particular wave, but you said gatekeeping, and it does feel like there's a bit of, and some people may be like, well, just get better. I was like, well, them dudes were supposed to be better that we saw the other night. Y'all explain that then. Explain that.
But now think about how you say like the gatekeepers, like the Tanks, the Bobby V's. They didn't just come in on their own wing. They got vouched in, bro. They came out of somebody else.
Yeah, no, and that's right. And this is what I was saying. Like back home, we have so many singers. Again, it's the opportunity part. And I don't want to sound like at this point it's a gripe, but when you got artists that are good, and we're looking at people looking at us and saying, well, how come you're not signed? I've been told that before. How come you're not signed? I'm like, how come don't you know somebody that might know somebody? You tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's when I realized, I just have to figure this out on my own and start my own label, and get my own publishing company and just figure it out that way. Because
right, and I'm gonna tell you this, when Tank hit me up,
mm-hmm.
he propositioned me like, if you got a budget, we got some moves we can make.
Yeah.
And if you got an even bigger budget, we got some more moves.
Yeah.
And I was straight up. I was like, I got a budget and I wanna get to the next step. Like, what's after this?
Yeah.
Completely ghosted.
Really?
It was completely ghosted. I didn't get no more communication. And I'd want to move forward,
Yeah.
like respect the tank, but on he's not reaching out to the independent artists. We already know Jay Valentine's good. These signed artists, they've already been vouched and they had the opportunity already.
Yeah.
But what about the new wave? What about the next generation?
Yeah. But here's the thing again. He meant
people don't want to hear the same artists over and over and over.
I'll put it like this: the next generation ain't us. That's the issue, because it's our age group. He's like at least like 10, 12 years older than us. Jay Valentine is 6 years older than me. He's same age as my cousins, some of my older cousins. We're all in the same age group. He's looking at people under us. And the issue with looking at people under us is that a lot of people under us don't got it. At least in a male perspective. Now they got voice. I'm not saying that they can't sing. It's a lot of good dope sing. Here's the thing. Lucky Day is 35 years old. He's in our age group. He's not.
Is that the guy you showed me recently?
I don't know. Nah.
On the elevator?
Elevator. I don't know.
Nah, that wasn't Lucky Day. Nah.
No, but Lucky Day is 35. Lucky Day is not he's not the new wave. He's in our age group. So who else? Davion Ferris, D Smoke's brother, same age as me, 37. He's not the new wave. Tiffany Goucher is either a year or two younger or older than me. Not the new wave. I knew about Tiffany Goucher back in 2015, 16, before she cut her hair. Not the new wave, as far as age groups are concerned. They're not the new wave. They're looking for younger people that has what we have. And a lot of the younger people, a lot of them don't have that. They have the voice. Some of them might have the skill, but there's something behind that they don't have that
You know
a lot of
what's
us have.
confusing to me? What is it about age? What is it like
Well,
that
because
we are like? Do we
it's
look older? Is it
it's an
like
aesthetic. It's an aesthetic. Like we don't, black don't crack, bro. But it's like
black don't crack?
but when you hear, oh, he's 38. Like I'll be 38 in November. Oh, he's 38. Man, 38.
I don't want to tell people my age because of that
Oh,
stigma.
but I mean, at this point, I mean, I get it. I feel you, and I don't blame you for that, June. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Cause that's all that's going.
You
Cause
know,
the reason, at least for me, the reason why I don't care, because I know I'm confident enough to be like, I can sing. I'm gonna say just like this, respectfully. I can sing some of these new niggas that's out here singing under a bag and under a brown
yeah,
paper bag under a table. Some of these cats, they didn't got signed to these labels, bro. I will sing you under a table. I will. So it doesn't matter how old I am. Right?
yeah,
It shouldn't matter if I'm currently doing music. I'm listening to the new sounds and I'm implementing what I grew up listening to and merging that with the new sound. Oh, I know I can. And some of them, in reference to what Tank was saying, Tank was like, man, I was getting jumped on. He's like, I'm writing and producing all my stuff. They got teams of writers. Guess what? I write all my stuff on my own. Unless I'm doing a collab with somebody, they writing their own verse. I encourage them to write their own verse. I'm like, I'm not finna write your verse. And I ain't trying to be funny when I say that. But I'm like, no, you're a writer like I am. Write your own verse. Right?
yeah.
I'm not
See
gonna be
what you
like,
got, not me.
yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? If you're a singer songwriter, you write your own verse. But I'm like, some of these cats and the average listener don't care about that though. At this point, the average listener looks. Can we talk about that? You can. It's okay. You was telling me like the
It's
whole
fine.
experience, the whole experience about you singing, and he's like, I'm not about the clout thing. I'm really trying to network, and but people they trying to be rock stars. And you're like, no, I'm an artist. That is it okay? Because you kind of like mentioned
Yeah,
that. Yeah, okay. Because that's what you mentioned,
sure.
and you was just like they clout chasing. I'm like, I don't care about clout chasing. I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? Even I'm in school. I'm finishing school in September. There was a kid in my actually I'm not gonna say which class it is, just in case somebody listens to this later on. He was like, I just want to be a rock star. I was like, no, the teacher was like, hey guys, let's help him. I'm like, I'm not helping this nigga. Like I really,
Mm,
and he wasn't black, but I was just like, but I meant it with so much. I'm like, I'm not helping him. He don't even he don't
mm,
even appreciate the craft. He just wants to be famous, and he ain't got no real talent. Man, stop, bro. You don't even know how to conduct
stop.
yourself. You don't even know how to conduct yourself in a regular conversation with our teacher about what you're looking for. Because that's part of artistry as well. As how can you conduct yourself in an interview? How can you conduct yourself? I'll say this,
How can you captivate?
right? So I'll say this. Shout out, I'll say this publicly. Her name is Renee Hall. Shout out to Renee Hall because she's an actress. I went to church with her. And there's another sister of mine. We all was there. We were on the set of HBO here in Texas, man, about like 2015, 2016. We were singing in the choir, and it was for the show called The Leftovers. So I learned the song. I taught the song to the people that were in the choir or praise team, but like they picked it up instantly because we all are singers. We knew. I said, "This is our part." All right, bet. That was that. We killed it. They loved us. We saw Renee King. Renee King walked up to us, said, "You guys sound amazing." We couldn't take a picture with her though. I was so sad. But something that my sister Renee told me was even as an extra before we got that little assignment. It's not really a little assignment. We got paid like close to like $800 for that one day. I was like, bro, that's amazing. But she said, be careful with who you're around because the staff is watching the extras. Even though we're extras, we're not actors. Renee is an actor. I'm not an actor. I was just like, yo, this is some quick money real quick. All right, bet. Renee is an actress. This sister is an actress. She's an actress. She's really good. And so, but she told me, she said, Gerard, actually she said, Jay, be careful with who you're around because the staff, it don't matter if they're big wigs or not, they're here on set and they're watching these people. And if they don't like you, they'll tell you not to come to the set no more. So they was watching little people, even the little people, they're watching their character and their conduct. And as an artist, you need to be able to showcase that as well, your character and your conduct. So you need your talent and you need your character and your conduct. And so now I'm looking at like when quote unquote this new wave, and I'm like, bro, the people that are unsigned, that are still in this age group that's next to these people that y'all think are fading away, better than you. Especially in the male department. Better than some of these cats that's out here. I'm the king. No, you're not. I'm the king of R&B for this generation. Bro, no, you're not. I had a high school student that could sing better than one dude. And his voice was decent. And I was like, yo, I know he sounds better than these other cats. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it goes to who you know, on who's willing to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because most people, their mindset is like, well, what do I get out of it? So it goes back to who you know. Like, truth be told, I actually I'll say this, because I'm not going to say who it is. My family on the Arnold side, they'll know who it is if they've been paying attention. I have a cousin. I bet he gonna come through. I have a cousin. Now, I don't know this cousin personally. He is blood. So I have yet to like meet him face to face, but I have a cousin. He has a label. He has an artist that got music placement for Rihanna. That's my cousin. Wow. He's older than me. He's got to be like in his 50s, I think, his early 50s. And he's been doing, he partners with this dude that kind of looks like Jazzy Faye, but it's not Jazzy Faye. All right, there we go. Marack, there we go. So, but I got a cousin, and for me personally, I have yet to reach out, and I don't think I ever will. They be like, hey, cuz. I can easily be like, hey, cuz, put me on. Either he's going to say yeah or no. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail, because if I say, he has another artist that's actually, he had a prominent artist. I don't know if this prominent artist left or not. But this prominent artist actually did a collab with Jay Holiday. He did a collab with Jay Holiday.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Yup.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's good, Kings?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? We ain't talked in years, man. How you doing, dog?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I love where the conversation's going. You're in a good spot. You're in a very good spot. Just as an MC who loves writing for neo soul artists and R&B artists, y'all don't have a place. That's the problem.
Continue.
In the 90s and early 2000s, you had a definite place. Now we don't know the difference because your favorite rapper is singing.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you knew Music Soul Child was Music Soul Child because Music Soul Child did what?
Sing.
He sung.
Yeah.
Until he started doing whatever else he wanted to do.
Marack.
And then when he started doing whatever else he wanted to do, guess what he did? He changed his name.
He sure did. Marack, do you remember?
And that shows you kind of the demographic.
Yeah.
Like how this is working.
Yeah.
You want your art to be next to your name.
Right. You're right.
If you don't do that, you get lost in the sauce. You just like everybody else. You know, people know Marack because I'm not finna sing to you.
Right.
I'm finna rhyme.
Right. And he got bars.
If I need somebody to sing, I'm calling you.
Right. Yeah, no, I feel you. Marack, do you remember, what year was it? Was it 2010 or 2011? This is when we really saw this shit. We saw 50 Cent try to like sing a little bit. We saw Ja Rule as a kid do it. But I think the shift really happened, at least for me personally, is when we heard How to Love by Lil Wayne. And I remember I was in the car. I was back home. because I went back home to visit my family in Michigan. I'm in the car, almost crashed my car, Marack. Cause I was
Right.
like, I said, nigga, ain't no way. The song was,
Right. What are
I knew
you
he couldn't,
doing?
I knew the dude couldn't sing, but I didn't know who it was. I was just like,
Right. Right.
who? I was like, these
Well,
lyrics are
my thing.
amazing.
Right. My thing was, what are you doing? Because okay, all right. Now I'm getting ready to date myself.
No, you good.
I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
ready to date myself. I'm getting ready to date myself. You getting ready to see how old I really am. I'm finna be all of 42.
Oh, come on, bro.
Okay, so but if you think about it, the first person we heard singing that could rap they ass off was who?
Was who? Pain?
Devin the Devin the Dude.
Devin the dude can sing?
You ain't never heard Devin the Dude sing?
I have never heard him sing. I bet I listened to it today though.
Okay,
Wow.
hold on. Now, what? Now, excuse my language, but remember this. I just want to fuck you. No kissing and hugging, girl. You got a husband who love. Who is that?
Was that Devin the dude?
That's Devin the
Wow.
Dude.
I think I had no.
Oh,
I think I have heard that record before, like once or
That's
twice.
Dr. Dre.
Wow, how about that?
The singing and the rappers who sung
uh huh.
started with Devin the Dude.
That makes sense. Cause Devin the dude was singing. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Bro was just saying he didn't know Devin the Dude song.
Yeah, it was one of the songs that was like a single.
Dr. Dre.
Was it?
Doctor, no, yeah, excuse my language,
No, you
but
good.
I just want to fuck you. No kissing and hugging, girl. You got a husband who love you. That's on the Chronic. That's on the Chronic
Devin the dude sung
2001.
that?
Yeah, that's
Cause
Devin the
I know
Dude.
about Devin the dude with his solo project, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was spit and he was
Yeah.
sing, and I didn't think nothing
Dr.
about
Dre
it.
went to go. Dr. Dre went to go get him for that.
Really?
Yeah.
That part I didn't know.
DOC DO, DOC said, "Hey man, there's a dude out of Houston
Wow.
who is a beast. You need to get him."
And shout out to the people in Texas. Like it's like the people that
Oh
are
my
from
god.
Texas. Like it's a lot of people that came. Erica Badu, she from Dallas. H Town. They from of course from H Town. Beyonce, she from H Town.
Yeah.
Calandria and them, they're from H Town.
Right. Right.
Jeez, bro, it's insane.
Yeah. Like when
Brian
you
Michael Cox, super
yeah,
producer, Houston.
Houston, right.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, when we are thinking about MCs or rappers that sing, we
Mm-hmm.
need to put it in the right perspective. Devin the Dude, Fonte from Little Brother.
Fonte, you're right. That boy can sing for
Fonte
real.
Fonte has made more money being in an R&B group
We're talking about
than
with
he ever did
with
being.
Eric Roberson.
It, no, oh no,
Oh, you talking
Fonte,
about? Oh, you talking about the other
the
group?
Foreign Exchange.
Foreign Exchange. That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, they bad. They cold. They
Oh,
cold.
come on!
They
Four
cold.
Grammy nominations,
Yeah, they cold.
and that's just with Fonte singing, rhyming, writing, and Nicolay producing.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The MCs that really sing can really sing.
Yeah.
But when Wayne came through doing this stuff, it just
Yeah. It shifted.
it made it undesirable.
It
That's
shifted.
what it did.
Yeah.
It
like a
shifted.
joke.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It made it like a joke. Like
It
Lil
did.
Wayne got that much love in his heart,
Yeah.
and he out there
Yeah,
singing "How to Love." Come on, brother. Like
yeah.
this ain't legit. It's
The
not
We don't
concept
authentic, man.
the
we
concept was
don't we
dope
don't take
though.
it.
The concept was dope.
Huh?
Like it was a beautiful song. The
Con-
video,
the
everything was.
con-
I was just like, man, I was mad. I wanted to quit singing. Then I was like, then what do I do? I literally said,
Look,
I was talking to my best friend about that. One of my best friends. I was like, yo, you hear this? I said, what do I do? I really was like, I can really sing and write songs, but you got a rapper that can't
so so
sing
so
singing. I was like, what do I do?
With
so
the
so
bag.
think about this. Think about this. What if one of our favorite singers would have done that record.
Oh man,
Would
it probably wouldn't have got it.
it?
It'd have been dope, but it wouldn't have been as dope. To be honest
It
with you.
wouldn't have been as dope.
Yeah.
Like I
Like
think
Lil Wayne
about
had the
when
bag. Lil Wayne had a lot of clout.
exactly,
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
exactly. He was
Oh,
so if he was to decline any, it wouldn't hurt him
it wouldn't.
because think about it. That year, this man did over 1,000 features.
He was everywhere.
He was
Lollipop was one
everywhere.
of his biggest records. So, like, believe it or not, like as much as he spit, much as he rapped, his R&B song was one of his biggest records ever. The
His
one,
R&B song was one of his
his
biggest records, man.
Lollipop, the one Static
Lollipop.
Major.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Static,
Shout out to
rest in
Static
peace.
Make. Yeah, and
SMP, Sam, yeah.
That's my guy.
and the group they were in, that Static was in at first.
I had a chance to meet Static and actually
Oh wow,
watch
dude,
Static work.
Wow. How was that, Marack?
And
that's amazing.
let me tell you something. Watching Static work is it back then it was weird because everybody had their little intricacies,
Gotcha.
the little weird stuff that they thought they needed to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was done for show rather than just doing it to do it. Like I got to hit this blunt. I got to drink
Right.
this alcohol. I got to do all this and
Now
that.
you're about to sing.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm an MC and I've never drunk or smoked in my life.
Mm.
But these singers are out here doing this. But
A lot of them are.
watching him walk around and process
Yeah.
everything in his head was genius.
Yeah.
I compare it to a video that I got to watch of my favorite producer, which is Jay Dilla.
Oh wow.
When Jay Dilla was in the when Jay Dilla flew Common out to Detroit,
Yeah.
and Common was staying at Dilla's house. Dilla had a full-fledged music studio in his basement. I'm talking about a studio that we would die to have.
Yeah. I believe it.
His digital board was the prettiest board I've ever seen in my life. And that was 2006, maybe.
Man.
But what I'm getting to is being able to watch Dilla walk around and process as he's building a beat and building a record for Common, and then sit down at the beat machine and just make it.
Yeah.
And know exactly what he had every sound.
It takes it's I think
everything that he had to do.
Okay. I'm about to say I don't know if
y'all need
No, I don't know if it's breaking up on your end. You started breaking up.
Watching that process, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Static was then. I didn't know who he was. He wasn't no big star.
Now,
yeah.
He was always
he wasn't
behind the scenes.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, real basic looking, real basic looking, wasn't shiny.
Right, and I compare him to Dilla so much because Dilla was always finding sound. He was always finding sounds and finding different ways to make different type of instrumentation for Busta Rhymes and Erykah Badu.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was part of Player. I was about to say, yeah, shout out to Player.
Yeah,
he was a
Player
and doing all these different things. So when he was walking around and look and finding these sounds and coming up with melodies and stuff, I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
You know who else is like amazing at producing? It's like it blows my mind, especially with the time, the tools, and the instruments that they had was doggone Devontae.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Devontae was their go-to guy.
So, Marack, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Although you're an MC, you're one of the MCs that appreciate R&B. That's the thing I
Right,
want to say that because most aren't most some hip hop artists nowadays they don't appreciate R&B. If you're a true MC, you're gonna appreciate R&B just off the samples that was being used in hip hop music, right?
right,
So,
right, right.
so a person of with your experience with your wisdom, Marack, what is your vantage? Because you said something earlier. You said there's not a place. So, what is your vantage point? What? How do you view black male R&B, not R&B in general? Because we know that the sisters they killing it. Period. It just
Right.
you know what I'm
All
saying.
around.
More
But
accepted,
All
yeah.
around.
so where do you what is your perspective of black male R&B now in comparison to at minimum the 90s?
Black R&B right
Black male
now.
R&B
Yeah.
for art for
But
black male. Yeah.
black male R&B right now. Sadly, you guys are lepers
Eesh.
to music.
I'm sorry, y'all. Real quick, Marack actually got bars. So, so I was like, bro, why you reach for
I
that
appreciate
word?
that, King. I appreciate that, King.
Like,
But
why you reach for
when
that
you think
word? Ouch, that
when
hurt.
when when you think about it,
Mm,
right now,
yeah,
the listeners, the people who are on here, who's in this room, who's talking with us,
yeah.
give me four R&B men that you love to listen to,
Just right
who
now.
just who just came out within the last
Oh, Jeff came
four
out.
Oh, bro,
years.
Oh
I don't
man.
have any. I
Exactly.
probably got one, and
Oh
that might be,
man,
When
that's
and that's
sad.
when
Lucky Day, and I only
now
listen to a couple of his songs.
and think about this. When has it ever felt like this?
Bro,
Never, man.
at
We
least within the last 10
right
to 12
now
years.
right now R&B men are Eli in the desert.
Ouch, bro. You're right though.
You're blind. You're blind. You have a purpose. You're walking towards something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what direction you're walking towards, but how long it takes you to get there, you do not know. The
Yep.
color in which the colors are unknown at this point, and no one can see what y'all see
Mm.
because because you're blind. You being blind, or the world being blind to y'all.
Yeah.
The world being blind to y'all has almost weakened. Has weakened the male R&B section.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like this. Okay. Now we're gonna go deep real quick,
Okay, go ahead.
gentlemen.
Go ahead. You got it, brother.
Go ahead, man. Go
We
ahead.
we're men,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, sir.
We're leaders,
Mm.
correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You already know where I'm going.
I'm going. Yeah.
We're men.
I'm tracking.
We're leaders. We led through love in music, singing to our ladies in song.
Right.
Where's that at?
We don't really see it as much.
We don't see it.
At least in mainstream, not as much.
When you're loving a woman, okay.
Yeah.
Earmuffs for anybody who don't who ain't grown. Earmuffs.
You good?
Anyone who ain't grown. Okay, this is where we're at. Can I hit it tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Can we fuck?
Yep.
Can we smoke?
Yep.
Can we drink?
Yep.
Can I hit it just this last time?
Yep.
I'm toxic.
Yep.
You're toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be toxic together.
Yep.
Let's fight.
Yep.
Let's argue. Let's have sex irresponsibly.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not be happy. That's
I
what
don't
you
want to
hear.
hear that.
Huh? You don't hear
I
that?
don't want to hear that. Nah, I ain't hearing that on the radio. I don't want to hear that.
Exactly. But that's what's been pushed.
You have to really think about it. If you
That's
really
what's
think about,
been pushed.
but at least within the
Now,
last 10 years. It's been
Now,
just, it's like we're being frogs and the heat is being turned up slowly but
now
surely.
what? Now listening to
I
Tank,
don't hate the girl. Dang, I don't hate the girl.
on hate her, but I know she's toxic,
Right.
so I want to hit.
Yeah.
But I know after I hit, I'm gonna want to hit again.
Yep.
But she's toxic.
Right.
So instead of telling her, baby, you need to get some psychological help.
We tolerate it just to get some.
You need to talk to the therapist.
Yeah.
You tell the woman, you telling her, I'm gonna buy you a bag.
Right.
I'm gonna get you these pills.
Yep.
I'm gonna buy you this bottle.
Yep.
We're gonna do what we do, and I'm gonna ruin your life a little bit more.
But at least you got what you want out of it. It was at least
But at least you got what you want.
Yeah.
Where are the leading men R&B singers? Now let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What was Brian McKnight's last dope song?
For like last dope song?
Yeah.
It had to be like right before what?
That's
Maybe
a one.
like right before 2005?
Wrong. If you go on your computer right now and look up Brian McKnight, he has a song, a wedding song with him getting married. Phenomenal. And it's his real wedding.
Really?
Dope. Right. So, but
Is it not Nobody? Is it called Nobody?
Hold on. Let me look and see. Let me look and see because I don't want to be lying.
Okay. Cause I see something that popped up. It's 2020 Nobody. It's from his album Exodus. That makes sense that he would call it Exodus. And I truth be told, people gonna judge me. I wasn't actually like a Brian McKnight fan. I loved his voice.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Nobody.
I've actually never heard a whole Brian McKnight album when I think about it.
But I think
his albums were always hit and miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had good singles.
Just to be all the way honest with you, bro. His album is always hit and miss.
Yeah.
But then again, Brian McKnight has always wrote his own music.
Yep. Always.
So with him writing his own music, it's going to be hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because he can't write as good as he sings.
He is a phenomenal singer.
And now when his brother writes for him, it's phenomenal. Do you know who his brother is?
No, who is his brother?
His brother is Claude McKnight from a little group back in the day, a cappella gospel group called Take Six.
Wait, what? For real?
Yeah.
Take Six?
Yeah.
You know
that's where. Yeah. Claude, who is the bass in the I think the high tenor. That's his brother.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, they are trained to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
being a McKnight, you better.
So, yeah, right. Being a McKnight, you better. If you type in on your computer, if one of y'all go on y'all computer right now and type in the McKnights singing, you're going to see Brian McKnight,
let me see,
Claude McKnight.
Let me pull up something real quick.
And a whole bunch of their family in the room singing, and it like to hear the whole family sing, you're like, oh my God.
I think I seen something like that. It's at somebody's house, right?
Yeah, and Brian McKnight is in the back playing the piano.
I think
he starts
so.
singing.
Yeah.
And you hear them singing, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, Marack, he got bars. He's a from
I appreciate that, King.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, of course, man. From because essentially from songwriter to songwriter, we're poets, and this dude got it. Ever since I met this cat, he always had the bars. He always had the bars. So, but truth be told, he said
you sound
something.
like he got bars.
Yeah, but he said something. It was piercing, but it was truthful. I guess. So I guess, Marack, while you're looking for it, I guess the question is: so what as a whole?
Type in "'Tis So Sweet" Brian McKnight and Chris Willis. TIS So Sweet.
Oh, it just popped up. Yep, there you go.
Oh, somebody blowing.
Yeah, you hear it,
Yeah, take it back to the top.
Hold on, wait. Who was that just singing?
That's Chris Willis.
No. Who was just? I heard no. That was holding the camera singing like that.
Oh, that's what's his name? Brian's son.
Oh,
not Junior.
Is it Brandon?
But the other one.
Okay. I just heard a run. I was confused. I'm like, who was that? Hold on.
Yeah. That's Junior.
What? Take him to church.
Now the one who's singing is Chris Willis, right?
Gotcha.
He makes Caribbean music. Brian fell out laughing because he got that flawless.
Oh yeah, I see her. It's the whole family.
The whole family. But watch the
Bro, this is like listening to the Winans, the whole Winans family. This is what this feels like.
To trust him more.
It makes me sick.
And oh, for grace to trust Him
I guess I'm a mix of what you would get if you was to put the root, I guess, with a Music Soul Child.
I guess I have to be on my neo soul vibes with you. That's cool. I used to be heavy, like neo soul for me used to be everything. At one point in life, man, I used to love to Music Soul Child so much, bro. I used to want to have a lazy eye like Music Soul Child. I love them men so damn much.
Shut up.
I did. I wanted to wear glasses like them and everything.
Get the heck out of here.
Music Soul Child taught me how to sing, my vibrato, falsetto, and everything, bro.
For the people that did chime in and come through a couple times, thank you, June. Of course, thank you for chiming in. Scylla.
For sure, bro.
Yeah. Thank you for chiming in. I don't know where she's at now, but thank you for chiming in. Of course, June, Marack, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Charles, hey, bro, I thank you for like coming in real quick towards the end. So I didn't get a chance to say this, but this is actually episode 69, the state of Black Male R&B this is part 7. So I do this episode. I do the state of Black Male R&B like every once in a while. So this is actually part 7 of that, where we're discussing what's going on. We're discussing what can possibly be done. All right, peace and God bless. Did you forget the mother too? So many love to me like it's forbidden. Oh, it's so good, feels like we're sinning. Mommy, know that body.
close to me. Yo quiero que te cercas de mí. That's how it's supposed to be. Bailemos la bala. Métete la mano y llévate a pasear. Promise you'll never leave.